After all that's gone on here with Alonso and obviously the Mets, can they have a successful 2025 if they reunite?
You know, Sal, I wish this were a slam dunk answer with a yes, because I love Pete as a Met, as a lifetime Met. That idea of him, making an ascent on the record books in franchise history. I'm a little bit on your side, though. I just wonder if there's too much water under this bridge for them to have a happy reunion, because at this point, it looks like he would be taking sort of a consolation prize from the Mets, and I don't know how that feels good for the player if he's walking into the clubhouse, because all those guys have followed all this stuff going forward here with his free agency, so they know. And does that affect? Is there a clubhouse chemistry thing there? Oh, Pete, you came back, but you didn't get the deal you wanted to. Does he feel that? Is he carrying any of that with him? So I just wonder. It just feels like to me that for him, from Pete's standpoint, taking a deal elsewhere, at least you could say, hey, fresh start. Let me go bomb away here, and I'll show the Mets what they're missing. Where's the motivation other than your normal pro athlete motivation coming back to the Mets, taking maybe what he didn't want? I'll err on the side of Pete being a pro and being good about it, but it still feels sort of wonky to me.
Oh, I completely disagree with you guys. I think we're overestimating how Pete is going to feel. We don't really know how Pete is going to feel. It's a business, right? This happens all the time. Guys don't get what they want. Guys get moved, but ultimately Pete wants to be back. And my massive concern is still, who is protecting the investment? Who in that lineup is going to protect Juan Soto? When the Dodgers signed Shohei Ohtani, who else did they go get? Oh, they got Yoshinobu Yamamoto, Teoscar Hernandez. They signed for Tyler Glasnow. They brought 5 more guys in. The Mets have not even done something comparable to that for Juan Soto. And so if they can both get over it, you can get over it. You don't have to like everyone in the clubhouse. Do you think every guy in that clubhouse likes each other? They don't. They don't. You have to respect each other, and you have to be able to play with each other and communicate with each other. And if you're telling me that Mark Vientos, who's played 84 games at first base, is the guy you want there, who's going to work on his footwork and his picks and be your guy at first, who's going to protect the rest of the team, I'm concerned about what you really want out of this season. And so I do think they can get over it. Move on. We're grown-ups. We're all adults. We sometimes spar, but we're still friends. We sit here.
Right. We don't, in fact, like each other at all.
Yeah.
No, I understand that. But Hannah, it is a different circumstance unique here with Pete and the Mets.
I'm going to split the difference a little bit and say that I certainly think that the way this has gone is awkward. It's just awkward. But the problem is, I think it's sort of awkward for Pete regardless at this point. We already know that Pete Alonso is not getting the money he wants, the years he wants out of his free agency. He's having a disappointing free agency, and that's going to be true regardless of where he goes. I don't think it's necessarily awkward for the Mets.
Right.
Like, I don't think they feel very good about the position they've taken. The concern, the motivation will be if he goes back to the Mets, it's probably on a short-term deal with some kind of opt-outs. And the motivation then is to have a much better free agency next time than he did this time. The concern would be, was the problem in 2024 that Pete can't perform in that kind of walk year pressure. So that, to me, that's a more specific concern than is the relationship between the Mets and Pete sort of irreparably fractured. I don't think that's necessarily the case. I think we got a sort of high-level problem. Pete's not getting what he wants. That's awkward. That's a bummer for him. Wherever he goes, everyone's going to know that he didn't get what he wants. And do the Mets think he can't perform with the pressure of free agency looming? Otherwise, I don't see any reason for them to not reunite for the sort of protection, extra bat.
But those are huge things. Like you just mentioned it. Pete, like the reason I love Pete Alonso, right? Loved Pete Alonso for a long time. There's a reason why I'm saying what I'm saying here. Damage has been done to a point where I don't trust that Pete is going to come back happy. And if he doesn't come back happy, is he going to perform in a pressurized situation again when he just failed at doing so a year ago? It doesn't add up to me. It doesn't make sense. I think at this point, now who knows what's going to happen? Maybe they do come together. Maybe it works out. Great. I think at this point, both parties will be better off moving on.